Partnership Forum as well for his viewpoint. Mukesh Aghi, the deal finally, of course, confirmed, announced by the two sides. Your first reaction to the U.S. President and the Indian Prime Minister's statements. Also, what have you been able to gauge on what the modalities of this agreement are going to be?
Well, first is I would like to congratulate both the President and the Prime Minister for concluding the deal. It's a win-win for both countries. Basically, India's largest trading partner is U.S., almost $200 billion two-way trade. And so that is going to accelerate, especially it's going to help our low-end goods coming from India, especially in the garment, gem and jewelries, and other areas, because that's labor intensive, and that's going to help. But overall, I think it's the trade deal also sends a message geopolitically. Both countries are aligned in every aspect. And so you will see a stronger partnership happening both on the defense side, both on the economic side, technology side, and definitely on the people-to-people side. So I think it is a win which both countries should celebrate and keep on moving forward in every aspect.
Mr. Aghi, let me also ask you about the fact that we have now seen how how Indian goods prices have risen in the US. From our key exports like basmati rice to fisheries like shrimp and other products like desi ghee. Prices had all gone up thanks to these additional tariffs. How soon could we expect that benefit to be passed on to the US consumer so they resume buying of Indian goods in as much earnest as they did before this rise in tariffs? Also, how soon do you expect Indian exporters to benefit from this as well? Which are the key sectors that you believe will benefit in India?
Well, the Indian exporters immediately from that perspective because tariffs are effective immediately. On the consumer side, I think it will take some time because you'll have inventory which is in process, inventory which is in the stores, and that could take a little bit of time. But overall, I would say that the goods will start getting cheaper. You have to understand also, rupee has depreciation by 6 to 7%. So that also will have an impact on the consumer side. So I think overall, you'll see a downward trend in price on Indian goods coming to the US.
Yes. What are now the US's expectations as well from India in lieu of reduction of duties to 18%? Venezuelan oil purchasing, also, of course, further reduction in Russian sanctioned oil, an increase in commitment of purchase of US products and investments in the United States of America. What have you been able to gauge on what the US expectations now from India as part of this agreement?
Well, obviously, in the president's announcement, he basically said $500 billion procurement from India. But you have to understand, India procures a lot of stuff globally. It spends over $120 billion procuring crude. It procures defense equipment. So I think a lot of that stuff could be redirected at a competitive price to the US. There's no timeline to it. I think it's not like this year you have to buy it. It will take some time, but I think that $500 billion expectation is not a high task. It'll take a few years, but I think India can achieve that. But that is not, it's not a firm commitment. It's more of an understanding. And so you will see a lot of energy direction going in the case of from Russia into Venezuelan oil, because that's where I think India can still get price competitive oil coming in. So overall, I would say that while there are numbers which have been committed, we are waiting for the details to come in to ensure that at least the relationship move forward in a positive manner.
Okay. Dr. Aghi, also now, are you hopeful that the other partnership areas will also resume now? Obviously, there were certain fissures due to the the agreement not getting finalized, and the other issues like the additional tariffs and the reasons why they came on. Now that all seems to be ironed out with this announcement and message from President Trump and Prime Minister Modi. Are you hopeful that the other aspects of our partnership, be it our shared security concerns, our defense cooperation, all that will get strengthened again as well?
No, absolutely. I think you have to understand the foreign minister is in the U.S. at the moment, discussing the critical mineral partnership with the U.S. So I would say that in every aspect, things are moving the right direction. You have to understand one thing very clearly is that when the U.S. imposed visa restriction on 75 countries, India wasn't a part of that. That was a messaging which was signaled to India that the relationship is vital. Yes, we have issues on trade, but those can be handled in a amicable fashion, and they have been handled in a very amicable fashion. So I think it's time to basically celebrate and move forward with this partnership.
Are you hopeful then for a meeting as well sooner rather than later between Prime Minister Modi and President Trump?
Obviously, I think they will meet somewhere. The question is this year, U.S. is hosting the G20 summit, so Prime Minister, we expect him to be there. Or if there's a quad taking place, then they'll meet. I strongly believe that there will be some kind of meeting taking place sometime this year between the President and the Prime Minister.
Okay. My final question to you as to what finally do you believe was the clincher? What led to the finality in this deal that we've seen announced yesterday? There were concerns about the delay and the fact that most things were final except for the go-ahead at the top. What do you believe was the clincher that finally led to the big announcement that we've seen yesterday from both sides?
Well, it's a combination of multiple things. I think the effort by U.S. Ambassador to India, Sergio Gore, did play a very critical role. The effort by the Indian American community reaching out to the senators and congressmen did play a role. The deal with EU and India, which was signed, also created a role in trying to put pressure. So the U.S. companies played a very critical role because they would like to leverage India both from a domestic market and then make in India for the global market. So multiple factors played a pivotal role in driving this announcement.
Okay. Dr. Aghi, also final question then to you. How do you expect this now to positively impact our economy, our GDP, and the slight dip in exports, which didn't really happen, as some of our experts have pointed out, because we explored alternative markets, but now hopefully will increase further too with this move?
Well, it will definitely impact India's GDP in a positive way because exports will go up. You have to understand because India has 18% tariff, China 34, you'll see global supply chain moving to India. This will impact Bangladesh garment exports to the US, and that's where India can leverage. So it will create more jobs. It'll help on the domestic economy, and you will see an increased FDI coming in. So I see a very, very positive step for India's economic growth and job creation.
Okay, Dr. Mukesh Aghi, thank you very much for joining us with your perspective on this big story. My thanks to our guests who joined us earlier as well. We're taking a very short break on that note.